Hi guys, it's Shar, and I have got probably one of the most informational videos that I will make this year that should help you. So if you are a homeowner here in Iowa, you need to give me just a couple of minutes and I'm going to help make some things make sense for you. The assessors all mailed out their updated tax statements or assessment statements, and these assessments are what your property tax gets evaluated on or calculated on. And these are, in Iowa anyways, visited every other year. So in odd number years, the assessor goes out, updates the values of the homes, mails out those assessments, and then the following year your taxes are going to go up. And so why was there such a big increase this last year or last 2 years showing up in your mailboxes? Because we all know the market went crazy, and it's not the people who bought a home in the last 2 years that were surprised by any of this, because when you purchase a home here in Iowa, that purchase price will now become the assessed value for your home because there was a purchase, and that's what the assessment is reflecting. It's reflecting the sale price of what your home would be in today's market, and they come up with that tax amount. Well, we know over the last 2 years we've had over a 20% increase in our home values. And so normally on a normal year we have 4 to 5% growth year after year after year on a home, but in the last 2 years we had over 20% growth on our home values. And so the assessment statements that are going out had such a big increase because we had this crazy real estate market going on. And so the neighbor's house down the street that you saw come on at $200,000 and it got multiple offers and ended up at $240,000, that all weighs in on how much you pay as a neighbor to that house, because we know with real estate it's all about location, location, location. Now, what does this mean to you? Well, this means that your taxes are going to go up, your property taxes, which probably means that your monthly mortgage statement is going to go up. Because in Iowa, if you escrow for taxes, and most people do, that you're going to have a little bit of your monthly mortgage payment go into a savings account, so when the bigger tax payment is done or is due, your piggy bank has that money in there and it gets paid. And so your mortgage company and my phone's blowing up because I'm getting people asking me left and right what all this stuff is. So I thought I'd just make a video to share with you. Your mortgage company is going to be increasing your mortgage payment so that when that tax payment comes due, the money is in the account waiting for it to be paid. Now, you're not stuck, okay? And this is some of the harder work to do. You're not stuck, but you do need to ask yourself, because you can protest the assessment, all right? But you need to ask yourself, before you ever try to protest it, could you sell your property for that amount today? And some of that can take you contacting your favorite real estate agent or doing a little bit of homework on the assessor's websites, because you can go into your house and in your results, I know I live in Polk County, you could just click within a click and say comparable homes, and it will show you other homes that have sold that would be comparable to mine. And if you're seeing a big difference when you click on those homes, I know I had helped my CEO, Mindy, the homes that she was valued at and competing with all had a lot more square footage in their basement that was finished, or they had additions and extra buildings like a sunroom on the back of their home, and hers didn't. And so she's going to be filing, she's going to protest her form and list out these addresses. But there is a process that you have to follow. And the very first question you need to ask is, could you sell your property for that amount today? And if that answer is yes, there is nothing you can do to protest this tax assessment, because that is what pays our city. That's what pays our infrastructure. And we know that while home prices went up, everything went up in a city. All the material costs, all the employee costs, all the employee benefits, everything is increased. And that's what our taxes go to pay for. And so first and foremost is, could you sell this property for that amount today? And if the answer is yes, then you know what? You just need to know that your taxes, your property taxes are going to go up. And your mortgage company should have been notified of this, but if they weren't, you might let them know once everything is validated, because there's a process that you have to go through before the assessor can implement these changes. Now, if you believe, like my admin, that it is wrong, you got to find out what your current assessment amount is, and there's a certain date you have to be able to file these. Okay, you could file a petition with the Board of Review, and to begin the appeal process, you must file a written petition, and you have to sign the protest with your board of review. Now, the petition to your local board of review is all available online. You just go to your assessor's website. You should be able to navigate there. If you need help, feel free to reach out to us. You need to complete this form, and you must specify the reason in your written petition. It is broken down onto kind of where the top portion, what it does, the bottom portion, the grounds, and then you're going to sign that. You have to request an oral hearing in your written protest if you'd like to speak to the board of review. So you have to request that if it's extra. And the protest will not be accepted unless it's signed. You have to complete the bottom portion of this section. Now, this form should be the same for all the counties, so no matter where you're at, this should all apply. And you must file it in person or postmark it in the mail between April 2nd and April 30th for it to be valid, okay? There is an extension if you happen to be in a disaster or something comes through, or if April 30th falls on a weekend, they'll let that following Monday. But you need to file this between April 2nd and April 30th. Now, the board meets in May to hear all of these considerations, and it stays in session as long as it needs to address all of these protests. But it's usually not past May 31st. So if you should hear something back by the end of May. And if you're not happy with the board's decision, you can appeal it again. So there is a whole process out there that will allow you, if you feel justified in appealing, but before you start, you need to make sure that it's worth even starting the process. Because even though you don't like the amount, if your house could be sold for that amount, and we're looking at like compared to like, you just need to know that your mortgage payment isn't going to go up this year. It's probably going to be next year or the year after before you're able to see it, reflected in your mortgage payments. Now, with that being said, you also need to make sure that you filed for your homestead credit. If it's your primary resident, a lot of people who purchase a home, especially if you don't have an agent involved and you're buying direct, you don't even realize that you have a homestead credit or a tax credit that's going to be given to you if you're living in your primary home, and you're able to file that. There's also a military exemption that can be filed too on your primary house, and that will all come off of how much your taxes that you pay every year. So if you have any other questions, or you need me to go into a little bit more depth on something that's just pertaining to you, feel free to reach out to me. You can call me directly. My cell phone is 515-314-5667, or you can shoot me an email at char@charklisares.com, and I'll do everything I can to help. Hope this helps you feel a little bit better or worse. I know mine went up, and there's not a darn thing I can do about it. I'm just happier it wasn't assessed for more, because I know there were a few in my neighborhood that sold for more. So I hope you're having a great day, and I hope this helped, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.